Hey guys, Night Ops here, and we are actually here with some Hearts of Iron 4. But as you can see, this isn't your traditional Hearts of Iron 4. We are actually playing with the Old World Blues Fallout mod. And even just that, like we have a very long list of mods. I'm going to try to put together a list of the mods I'm using, but there are a lot of mods. One of them, the main one being, because we are actually doing an Enclave playthrough, where we are going to play as the Reformers, and my main goal is to reform the United States. I've been wanting to do this for a very long time. The only issue that I was running into is one of the main mods that was needed was the Rust Belt mod, which was all of this area, which was like all of this, the Chicago Enclave and stuff. Because without it, this is all empty. This is from a different mod. This is from a different mod. But without like this area, none of this could be seen. But somebody made a map filler mod until they update the Rust Belt mod. Um, and that's kind of like what this is. Like even these guys, they're just empty. There's actually nothing there, which really saddens me. But like I said, it connects the two sides. And it's not like we're bordered to this where we could just steal all of this empty territory anyway. We are all the way over here, right next to the New California Republic or the NCR. We are the Western Enclave, because the main mod that we're using pretty much is the, is it like ERX? It's the Enclave Redux mod, which allows us to become the reformers and stuff and to try to reform the United States. So yeah, I do hope, you guys do enjoy this. I'm probably going to do it in episodes, but in a certain way where like we have kind of an objective maybe. I'm not 100% sure. I've been trying to think of how to do it, but it's like kind of one of those things where it's like, it's kind of iffy. We're just gonna play on average Joe because the ERX mod lets us set the challenging aspect of it. Because if we just leave it on normal, it's going to be super easy. You'll see it here in a second once we get into it. But yeah, I do hope you guys do enjoy this. I know Lucho has been wanting this for a minute. I've also been wanting to do this for a minute. I have over 1,000 hours in Hoi 4 as a whole, but I always play with like a bunch of mods. I was really wanting my buddy to play with me here to do like a multiplayer thing, but that would be kind of hard to do because he works 512s, and so it's kind of hard for me to get him within a time to be able to do it. Especially if I'm doing it in episodes instead of like one long video, because this will take us like a minute. Okay, and I already did a test game of the both the reformers and the purists, and I'm not gonna lie, the purist, it even says, you'll see once we get options, there's not a lot of stuff for the purist at the moment. They just haven't been expanded upon, but the reformers have been expanded upon, and you can kind of really tell if you've played this mod pack or this with the ERX mod. Okay, what we actually need early is this manpower. How do I take? We're gonna be having some build up early. So we have work as needed and work assignments. I'm probably gonna do work as needed because we don't get any kind of negative debuffs on it. We do take some debuffs in terms of like factory output, but in the long run, the added recruitable population for us, especially since we are the Enclave, will help out a lot there. We're gonna be like when there's like a little bit of downtime, I'll probably pause if I don't really have anything to really say or do. But the cool thing about this mod pack, as a whole, is a lot of the national focuses and options only take 20 days, which is kind of nuts. A lot of this research, some of it we're not picking either side on because I don't know if it's randomized or not. I know the purist gets like sophisticated stuff while the reformers got like certain things before. Ouch, we lose 10% recruitable population with that. So there's certain things that I do want to kind of leave off and other things that I want to research out the gate, especially with the NCR on my doorstep. So we're going to go common weapons. We're going to put 2 on rifles at the moment just to try to build that up. I don't think we really have any kind of... Yeah, we have no building area right now that we can even build in. We can get some aircraft, but it's not a lot. I know we have some national focuses that also raise our infrastructure. I'm going to put down some static AA to get this going, because there is there is a time where the NCR will get air, and that's something we need to watch out for also. If you play the Purist, you'll 100% have to fight the NCR, I do believe. But as the Reformers, you can kind of keep putting it off, honestly. This is going to be this will be our infantry guy, because he does have infantry stuff, and he's actually pretty good for that. What I need to do is take out our power armor units. We will also be taking the XO1 armor when that pops up for us. We'll take this guy because he does have like heavy special forces and stuff. I can't remember if there was another guy that was also really good for that in the beginning, but I don't think there was. I think he was the only one that started with Pain Train. But there's a lot that we kind of have to do, because like I said, we are going to be reforming the Enclave, so we're going to have a lot of options. Like I said, I did do a test game. I didn't play like a crazy amount in the test game, but I did just enough to kind of learn the mod a little bit and to figure out kind of what I'm doing and decisions I kind of have to make. So we are setting this up kind of nice now. Okay. We're going to do 3-speed out the gate. I usually like playing on 4-speed, I'm not going to lie. Until like certain things happen, because I will pause and make decisions. I should have read that, honestly. I think that was just the super mutant thing. Because this mod pack is very, that's what I'm looking for, storytelling, which is awesome. Kind of sad that I did just skip that now. But if I remember right, it was the super mutant one. Because there is a whole plethora of story that can go on. Okay, so this is the cap system. I already know how to do the cap system, so it's kind of, to go through it. I know it to a point. I should say that. I know it to a point. But we will just skip it. It's kind of funny, though, because I think at the moment we can't actually build up our caps. There's certain things that I want to... So, like this here, the Enclave arms decisions, we don't need that to come up at all. So we're going to close that. We're going to close this. Oh, okay, here we go. Hey, we're picking up a signal. So this is for the Reformers. So this is what I was talking about, where you can also see that. So a few old radio receivers are picking up signals from the East Coast. They're spotty at best, but one of our radio operators say he can get them amplified, and we can hear what the hell is going on. Does he have permission? So if we hone in on it, this is for USA Reformers only. Purist content coming in the near future. So there is currently no Purist content. It's just pretty much base game where you're just fighting everybody. But I kind of want to do like something to actually go about a story. So the East Coast is live. After some work and retooling 3 separate protectrons, our technician got the signals boosted, and we're getting a clear picture of the East Coast. The signal is coming from Raven Rock, one of the old pre-war bunker systems meant to protect the president before the main presidential bunker was moved to the oil rig. The signal is from John Henry Eden, which is currently the president, claiming to be the president of the United States. However, no one here recognizes a John Henry Eden, and even fewer recognize his authority. However, plenty know that several who were at Navarro fled east, and it is possible that these individuals set up shop and are using the title of president to rally others to their cause. Because if I remember right, there's a colonel there that can try to like take control of Raven Rock and stuff. He can actually unplug the president and kind of take power. What we do with this information is anyone's guess, and will be settled once the Purists and Reformers debate is settled. What's more, we will need a sizable power base to take the East Coast, especially Washington, D.C., and squatting at the bottom of Sierra Army Depot is not going to make this any easier. In due time. And then here's like hard mode and stuff. So you can leave it normally, and it's kind of overpowered. I want to do the challenge because I want pain is crazy. And then I love how the I want death doesn't even tell you the debuffs, which is nuts. The can I have a challenge?
Dev made the game overpowered, but you want a little extra bite, but not absolute death.
But not absolute death. Yeah, we're gonna do Leroy Jenkins. We're gonna do challenge mode, which in of itself is kind of rough if you look at it. But I feel like it's enough that we can handle. The test game that I did, I didn't do it on challenging. So in the lair of the bear, we are on the very borders of the NCR, a rogue nation occupying American soil. We cannot deny that they would destroy us if they became fully aware of our existence. Luckily for us, the bear is blind, weakened by bureaucracy, infighting, and God, these ineffectual leader. Jesus. It's like small, I got bad eyes, man. With the right efforts made, we can hide under the very nose of the NCR until we are strong enough to reveal our plans. But we cannot keep them in the shadows forever. It will become harder and harder to conceal ourselves as time goes on. So one of the cool things is, as reformers, there is a way to annex the NCR. I was able to do it, but I think there has to be certain areas that the NCR has to go themselves. So it's not like, I don't think it's exactly I can do it, but there's a way to do it. Okay, then there's this, the last bastion of freedom. When the rig was destroyed, the last hope of America laid at Navarro, and the Brotherhood and NCR saw to it that the American dream was to be snuffed out. With many standing on the edge of despair, the toughest soldier of the Enclave, Sergeant Major Doran, rallied what few troops he could muster, and then we kind of get to set a story. So we barely got it alive, we get nothing. I say with doing the challenging that we're already doing, like difficulty-wise, I kind of want to go with this because it does kind of set a story. So we could escape using vertibirds. We get 2 aces, 100 transports, 100 gunships. Escape before the fighting got bad. We can get 3,000 manpower, but we lose 7% war support, which we're already kind of low on war support. Now, fought our way out with power armor. We lose 500 manpower, which we don't have enough manpower as is, but it'll just kind of put us in the negative. But we get 3 divisions of Enclave veterans, which is kind of what I want. We need that small power base to kind of help us in the beginning here. So we're going to take that, even though it will kind of hurt us. Now, are these 2 PAs? Okay, so these are decent sized, because if you look at our base template for the power armor for our guys, it's a small one. We will be getting like veteran units and stuff, and some of them aren't that great the way that they're set up, but I want to keep them and just add to them. So it'll be kind of a waste-wise army experience doing it like that, but it's something that I want to do. And right now, it might not look like we have a lot here national focus-wise, but this changes. Once we get to a certain point, it opens up. So if you go Purist, you'll have a national focus tree, and if you go Reformer, you'll have a national focus tree. It's just the Purist one is so old. When I looked at it, it just wasn't that great. I didn't really like it. It was just kind of like base game of, okay, you make this decision, you make that decision. Where the Reformer one, every decision you make down it, like, impacts the world, I would say. Impacts a lot of your gameplay, which is what I'm ultimately wanting. Something we need to kind of watch is the hide activities from the NCR. We just need to kind of build up our PP. Another mod that we're using, as you can see, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it like adds a lot of stuff here that we can spend PP on, which is really nice. Like I said, I'm going to have to put together a list. There's just so many mods that we are currently using. What I need to do is get into a lot of these. So like when we choose Reformer, we need like Reformer Propaganda, because we need to build up our power base like crazy.
That's a new one.
We also need to take New Reno as early as possible. I don't know why I'm actually on this border with the NCR. I actually need to be on the border with New Reno, because I didn't take it as early as I should have when I did my test game. But then when I did the Purist game, it was like I should have actually dealt with that much sooner. So this is the one where you can get the advanced power armor, the XO1 armor. I want to do it, mostly because we are the Enclave. It really sets us apart from, I would say, the rest of the world. It's only slightly better than like tier 2 or tier 3 power. I think it's tier 3 power armor. It's only slightly better than that power armor. So it's not that great, honestly. But it gives us a slight advantage in the beginning, but not as a whole, because there are a lot of other Enclave power armors that we can get. But we'll read this. So, old soldiers never die. For years, Doran, under the name of Chad Ranor, hid among Vault City. Secretly, many within this old unit settled there as well, growing the population considerably. Oh, talking about the Vault Cities and stuff, one of the mods that I have adds like a lot of the wild Wasteland stuff and a lot of other technologies and stuff you can get. You'll see it in the national focus tree, and then some of the decisions that we'll make once we can take the Vault City and stuff like that. It's really cool. Growing the population considerably for a time. It was peaceful, though by no means idyllic. Word out of the NCR saw Rangers and military police rounding up former Enclave citizens who also tried to integrate during one caravan security run to Sac City. Doran watched as mother and father were hanged for their association with the Enclave. Jesus. I knew the NCR could be pretty brutal with some stuff during like this time in the Fallout world, but a lot of times, they try to be the morality of the waste. Not even the children were spared. It took every ounce of discipline to not open fire right then and there. Vault City bureaucracy kept the NCR at bay, but that was only for so long. And then one night, there was a knock at the old sergeant's door, and he was greeted by the steely eyes of the NCR Rangers. Dude, the Rangers have done some... They're really cool units that the NCR has, and they're, like, really good, like Special Forces units and stuff. Like, this is, like, in the Fallout universe. But, man, have they done some deplorable stuff. Like, Jesus. They had come looking for him and spoke to him by name. It was an intense fight, but by the end of it, there were 2 dead NCR Rangers, and Dornan? I think it's Dornan, actually. Knew his time was up. So we're going to get the XO1 power armor here. So he brought that pretty much with him. They came for him, they'll come for the rest. At the height of the Enclave's power, Dornan had the distinct privilege of leading his own unit, something unheard of, being he was a non-commissioned officer. However, Dornan's Rangers ranked aside the Devil's Brigade and Granite Company in terms of effectiveness. I'm probably not going to read all of this here, because it just tells a little backstory about Dornan himself. This isn't really like about the world, I would say. So they were ready for revenge, so we get some manpower, gain war support, gain base stability. They wanted a future for their children. See, that PP in the beginning could be nice, but then that little bit of stability could also be good, because you can see effects from our current stability. We're losing 10%. It's kind of a hard decision to make, honestly. Let's go with... Actually, we'll just go with that early PP. Okay. Man. So, Sons and Daughters of Liberty we're going to take, so that's also just 10 days. Let's kind of speed this up a little bit. We kind of just got to get through this. This is my power armor guy. Which, one of the things I'm probably going to take on him... we have Bloody Mess here. It's motorized and demolition teams. Probably going to take Idiot Savant. Mostly for that extra equipment capture ratio. Especially this early when fighting the Raiders. That should help us a decent amount. Probably Gun Nut here, too. Yeah, we're going to take Gun Nut because we're going to do fire teams. Oh, okay, we don't have enough yet for it. Whoops.
That's a no one.
But we should be able to pretty much take New Reno easily when that comes. So we're at 80 PP because we need to kind of keep some PP for this. That should help us lower the overall points there, too. So encounters with the Crimson Caravan. I forgot about this. That raises the NCR suspicion a little bit. We're just going to leave no witnesses. We'll take the hit to our stability a little bit. So, yeah, so a new generation of Americans. Time, however, had marched on. Dornan's cropped black hair had turned silver white, and even his best officers grew weary with age. Yet among their numbers were not a series of old Enclave, but a new generation, sired by the Enclave of old. Many were taught the basics of survival, others were taught how to be soldiers. Many of the older ones here tonight were Rangers, and they had taught their children well. They had come of age, being taught of the Enclave of America, and their heritage. Dornan thought back to the child hanging beside his parents, then looked to the families budding around the center of the depot. Even if a few said the Enclave was dead or the American dream was gone, they weren't going to give up. Not this time. Which we're going to do for they are America's future. So we're going intellectuals here. So that'll help us get a boost to our intellectuals. Now calling all Enclave.
This is Enclave main.
It's kind of crazy, but these army depots during the Fallout universe, they were massive. Like, they were very, very deep. They were pretty much like vaults in their own right. And they held, like, massive amounts of technology and, like, equipment and stuff like that. Like, it was nuts. So it's kind of cool that we get to play out of the kind of like the idea of the Sierra Army Depot here. Okay, so we're at 97. I think if this goes all the way through without us clicking it, so yeah, calling all Enclave. I think if I click it too, it just gives us extra 26 days on it already anyway. So let's see. So the Sierra Enclave, using old codes and working endlessly to get the radio running, the refugees from Vault City began broadcasting from afar. The encrypted channel would be hidden from prying eyes like the NCR and secured from those who know. Oh god, dude. Who knew how, like the Brotherhood. Soon others began arriving from the north, the east, and even a few out of California. So it's just pretty much saying, like, you know, a series of vertibirds, like over months, they pretty much arrive. Things got busy around here, so we can get some more PP or we can get command power. Command power might be good to have this early, but PP, though, it's only 25. No, I want to try to get a nice setup for the early game, like PP-wise. Never let the old flag fall. And that's what I'm talking about that's really good that I like about the Fallout universe. They're kind of quicker games, mostly because of the... You're not waiting 75 days, 100 days for a lot of the national focuses like you normally would. Oh, dude, another... We're kind of getting bad luck that we keep running into the caravan. Well, we're just going to keep murking them here, I guess. Let's look at some of these guys here. I need reformer guys early. I'm kind of afraid to take some of these guys just in case my plans for this get derailed. So, like, this guy should be good here, so we'll actually take this reformer early. But some of these guys might get killed off. There's a chance that they might. And that's kind of what I'm afraid of a little bit. So we'll hold off a little bit more on that. We'll get, like I said, we'll get the intellectual guy just to help us kind of build this, because we are losing a lot from this. Like, our daily change is still kind of eh. But we still got a decent amount of the loyalist stuff, mostly because of certain aspects we're getting hit by. Because one of the things that we're going to have to change is this. Which we could change it to the academy once we hit 100, but they're gaining a plus 0.20 from this. When I did my test game, I never noticed this, so it was so hard to lower the elite support until I actually figured out where this was. I'm not going to be pushed around by the den. You guys can eat me. If you want to fight me, come fight me. I will run straight through you. All you guys are some dirty raiders. Okay. Never let the old flag fall. Despite all that's happened in the last few months, the Enclave remnants are scattered far and across the American continent, from MacArthur to Chicago, possibly even Texas and beyond. Dornan came to the Sierra Army Depot for a reason: to create a stable base far from prying eyes, prepare for the future. Now, with what Anderson and Granite have, they can accomplish just that. It will be hard, difficult, but that never stopped America before. Oh, man. America will rise, America will go on. The rig may have gone down and families hunted like rats in sewers, but the Wasteland should learn it's not so easy to take down America. Not by a long shot. So we could spread the word. God bless America. So with this, we'll get a unit leader, which is like one of these generals, not like a field marshal. But we could go this too. Let's spread the word, which we get some transport, some gunships, and then 100 PP. I don't know how I don't know how good that unit leader is the issue. Ah, man. It's from a past expedition too. But those gunships could help a lot. You know, we'll go with the unit leader.
This is Enclave main com.
Okay, so we have some more guys. These are all auxiliary units, which they're actually pretty decent. Yeah. So these are all from the Washington. Okay, so this is like Washington, Oregon, Nevada, Navarro. Okay. Because we do have one of the mods we have is the Washington Brotherhood up here that we really have to watch out for, because these guys are very warmongering, as you could tell. AI modifier focus on offense plus 60%. Another mod that we have makes the Brotherhood of Steel units a bit stronger. So they'll actually send reinforcements to each other in the base game, but they'll leave after a year. With the mod that I have, they actually won't leave after the year, so the Brotherhood of Steel unit will have better odds of surviving. So never forget our past. We gain like some stability, war support, army experience, manpower, technology, military origins. So a decent amount of like technology here. And then there's our choice, which is when we get to vote, we're gonna take never forget our past first. We're gonna try to get that little bit of technology. We're back up to 930 on our God, what's it called? Manpower. Jesus, words are hard. I'm gonna go up to 5 speed for a second, just to kind of blitz through some of these days, go back down to 4. How is our gun production right now? So we're making 1.68 a day, because I do want to just build up rifles. We do have some, like I said, some XO1 power armor. The only issue is it takes 3 per factory of advanced components. That's going to be rough until we can get our other research, or not research, our other national focus for the Sierra Madre Army Depot, because we have no advanced components. We have no way to get them at the moment. So we can't really produce those until we can get some of that. And like I said, they're kind of expensive to produce in of their own. And then we have the Caesar's Legion down here that's actually fighting other bandits and stuff around the area. It's kind of cool just like watching the landscape change. It's one of the things I love about Hoi 4 is just watching the AI kind of take fights and see who wins. But the really cool thing about the Fallout universe is just looking around. You could see like all these crazy like contraptions and leaders and stuff. I can't wait for like the Rust Belt mod to get finished. Cause like I said, this isn't. Wait, is it? Is he a thing? Oh, I did not realize the Chicago Enclave was a thing right now. I thought that was just a part of the map filler. Huh. But here's Raven Rock. This is where Eden is, which is like the president. I thought about playing them, but the only thing that I really wanted more of a fight, because we have like the NCR here, the Caesar's Legion. This is more around the area of like New Vegas and stuff, which is what I was really wanting. And there's also, you know, the overhaul mod for this enclave with the ERX. So it was like I was more inclined to go with these guys. We're gonna kind of keep going here with the pack ramen and stuff, so we can get supplies easier. Try to think of what I want to get. I know we can possibly get some research for these through our national focuses, so I kind of want to leave that alone at the moment. We'll just take that. It takes a few days to get. So we're currently, our choice. So we're about to make some decisions on our presidency, which we're going to go with the reformer guy, as you guys do know. Oh, wait, I actually have enough to change Navarro's veterans to Enclave Academy. Because we have political indoctrination, too. The only thing I don't like about this is the minus 15% recruitable population and the training time. But we do get a lot of intellectual support. But I could possibly wait. That would honestly help me get to where I need to get much earlier. So yeah, Sergeant Dornan supports Douglas Granite. So this is support of the Reformers faction. So this is pretty much the route we're going to go. Or we could technically go with the Purist faction. But like I said, the Purist faction hasn't been updated yet with the new stuff. So we're going to go with the Reformer, because that is our current playthrough. And now we can go our president. I like the Better Call Saul thing. It kind of makes me laugh when I first saw it. It just makes me think about the show. Okay, now I should be able to take that, right? No, okay, so I still have to wait. But do I spend it on this? Wait, that's actually a plus 20% training time. That's only 25, so I guess it's not too much of an issue to go with this. But the recruitable population is the only thing I really don't like about the political indoctrination. But getting that extra support, because certain options that we take will keep giving the Purist faction like more and more support, but they'll like help us in the long run too. Okay, so we still can't take reformer propaganda also. Chaos in the Navarro territories. Northeast California burns today, as after a scrimmage between Van Graff mercenaries and Shi settlers in the coastal city of Fusang left 21 dead. So that's this area here. I think they do fight in a war now, yeah. Which is pretty cool because the Shi here, God, one of the things, if I remember right, is there was an oil rig out here that had like one of the last big reserves of oil towards the end of the war. And that's where these guys come from, is like China, the Chinese people, like the China during the time. They're like fighting the United States over it and stuff. But I think the United States ended up getting it. I think it was actually the oil rig that the Enclave was living in. I do believe, but don't quote me on that. Oh, wait. I did not realize I can create an agency with only two civ factories. Because I only have 2 civs as is anyway. Oh, God, that scared me. I forgot it does that sound. So the election of Douglas Granite. Freedom is never more than 1 generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it to our children in the bloodstream. Ronald Reagan with the Enclave reform. There is some music with some of these, and I'm really hoping it doesn't get copyrighted. Because some of the stuff that happens throughout the world, there is some issues that pop up from it. So our president, sins of the father. Granite's past is a controversial subject in our midst. Made all the more... Oh, yeah. So whenever you get a president, I forgot about this. You can actually choose the skills that they have and the backstory behind the president, which is absolutely crazy. I love the world building and the backstory building behind this. So the cause of Granite's father and his relationship to the Chosen One. So the Chosen One, you know, is who you play as during in the Fallout game. The purists accuse Granite's father of treason for aiding the Chosen One and destroying the oil rig, but lack any evidence. Even veteran members of Granite Company admit that Granite just showed up one day as an infant, and Granite Sr. never spoke who Granite's mother was. Granite himself grew up never knowing who his mother was, or what happened to the rig arriving at the depot. Thought all these to a head, but Granite brushed it off, despite the fact that he will deny these allegations as nothing but political slander. Douglas remembers clearly what his father told him on his deathbed about that fateful day on the oil rig. So if I remember right, the purists pretty much had control, which they still kind of have control on the oil rig, and the reformers, I think, were getting kind of like politically assassinated by the purists and stuff like that, and had to like keep their head down. So he aided the Chosen One and then went their separate ways. So with this, we get Douglas Youth, which grants non-core manpower plus 2%. Speaking of the Chosen One, let me tell you who your mother was. So we get mutant sympathies plus 2% non-core manpower, but we lose stability, which is funny that we are like, oh, you know, you're half mutant or something like that. He didn't aid the Chosen One, so we gain base stability and war support. I would like the idea that he aided the Chosen One and we get the non-core manpower, honestly. And then Douglas's Youth. I actually like, one of the coolest things about Fallout is all of the propaganda that you find and see throughout the Fallout universe is so cool. Like, they're so cool. I actually really like it with the whole communism stuff. Granite grew up on the campaign trail with his father, learning from radical officers, malcontent grunts, and jaded followers. When not learning basic skills such as reading, writing, and math by follower teachers, he was taught by the various old members of the Enclave to ensure he had an American upbringing and be proud of his heritage. Aside from basic soldiering skills and how to field strip a laser rifle, Granite was raised with a fervent hatred of communism. Sadly, 200 years of Enclave propaganda and living on a rig run under a command economy meant the members of the Granite Company were left with a vague understanding of what communism was. As such, Granite knew all enemies of America must be communists. So he gains war support, and then Granite's hatred of communism will play a role in the future events and is necessary to unlock anti-communist propaganda. So the cool thing about the Fallout universe is Canada apparently has a lot of communist factions and stuff. Spent his class playing on his father's Pip-Boy. But we're going to go with the whole anti-communist, the whole hatred communist thing, because I feel like if you did grow up in the Enclave, it is old America, and the fight against communism during that time was massive, so we're gonna kind of go with that. So Douglas's first contact. When Douglas was 17 years old, he was finally allowed to follow his father on a mission. He established himself every bit the man his father was, and then some. He piloted vertibirds to Coover. Sorry, I had a yawn there. What does that say? Supped with Rio soldiers along their river, and learned much from the people of the Wasteland, much of his father's chagrin? Dude, some of these words, man. He went away native, nonetheless. Granite Sr. Shed tears of pride when he gave him a position in the company, where he quickly rose through the ranks. But on a chilly day in November of 2268, taps played for Granite Sr., and so passed the last American. For Granite Company and the last of the Western Enclave, they looked to Granite to write the epilogue. But Granite decided instead to write the next chapter. With determination, he took charge of Granite Defense Company, and on his first mission as company commander, they received an emergency distress signal sent by. So an NCR platoon fighting raiders, a Brotherhood patrol fighting super mutants, and Caesar's scouts seeking new lands. So if I remember right, the decision you make here will influence some of the decisions you can get in the future with these people. So since we're going reformers, I don't know how the Enclave reformers would be against the Brotherhood. I know the reformers with the NCR aren't too aggressive towards the NCR. They want to more like annex it, join us sort of thing. But the Brotherhood's a little different, because I know a lot of the Brotherhood startups were previously like American soldiers and stuff. So, which is kind of crazy. I don't know. I might go with the Brotherhood patrol. No, we're going to go with the NCR. So Douglas's decision, the NCR forces were battered and bruised, and by the time Granite Company arrived, they numbered only a few rangers and some soldiers. They were ambushed by a group of raiders who, while having initially seized the advantage, had become just as bloodied and worn down as the NCR platoon was. Although men from either side were, by now, being held together by nothing more than stimpaks and chems, the raiders were nearing a final assault on the NCR's position. Without intervention, the NCR troops would surely be slaughtered. And by the time Granite Company had arrived, they had already been spotted by the raiders. Looking over the sad state of both parties, Douglas decided to wipe them out, lest they reveal the Enclave's survival. So we could wipe out everybody, so like the raiders and I think the NCR too. Which gets us, justify wartime goal, minus 10% resistance. You get 200 manpower. Or help take down the raiders. Which we get charismatic, so we improve relations opinion, daily compliance, gets event, the good life. And this will give us a connection within the faction. So this is what I was talking about. Yeah, you gain a connection within the faction. And with the NCR being right on our border, that could help us. So we're going to go with that. The good life. For a while, Granite and Granite Company lived the life of mercenaries, taking the dangerous jobs that paid well but were seemingly impossible. A life of adventure, daring, and more than enough to fill volumes worth of pulp comics. And even had an entry in Geth Kifrin's NCR Comics Resurrection Squad. Granite himself became something of a folk hero in Western Oregon, and it was said that he always seemed to have someone watching over him, as more than once an incident where he should have clearly died resulted in his foe being sniped from afar, a surprisingly placed weapon on a door unlocked that shouldn't have been. Granite, of course, counted it as good fortune. When not on the job, he was more than at home, kicking it back with his company, earning a loyal following of hardened veterans who would follow him to hell and back if he asked. Man. There shouldn't be this. I don't think there's this much reading in the future. It's just this is like the beginning, like the kind of like story building. So there's so much reading. They come to an end. The the fame, of course, was a double-edged sword. As a unit, mercenaries supporting Enclave power armor was more than enough. It was more than, but I think it's supposed to be more than enough to attract the attention of a certain two-headed bear. Talking about the NCR. It started when several NCR Rangers were spotted around Arcata, but this wasn't too out of the norm ever since the NCR moved into Northwest California. However, they didn't stay long, but members of Granite Company noticed they were eyeing them with suspicion. More than a few members of Granite Company noticed they seemed to be casing their compound, and at night, their compound took sniper fire. Granite lost 2 of his newest recruits that night. However, you don't just randomly fire weapons in Arcata without half the town returning fire. By the time Granite and his veterans arrived, 2 NCR Rangers lay dead, and a third was being held hostage. After some enhanced interrogation, it was revealed that they were after Granite Company. They were remnants of the Enclave, and the NCR was going to bring them to justice. The portmaster made it clear to Granite that he was to leave lest he bring all the NCR upon Eureka. For the first time in his life, Granite had encountered something he couldn't shoot his way out of, and he didn't know what to do. That was until one of his company came forward, having picked up a signal. So a signal from out east near New Reno. Oh man, Granite's exodus. It's hard. It's hard leaving the home you grew up in, and many Granite senior members argued they should just overthrow the postmaster and establish their own enclave in Arcata. Granite pondered a few hours, but concluded that even if they did, the NCR would just have a greater excuse to attack. Even in Arcata, they had fewer numbers than at Navarro, and all of Granite Company knew of the fall of Navarro. Others believed that the Sierra Army Depot was a trap, as while the signal was of Enclave origin, it seemed to be too perfect. The timing of the signal and the arrival of the Rangers. It had to be a trap. Decoding the signal using some equipment sold to them by some crazy caravan merchant, the voice of Arch Dornan came over the radio. No one dared question if Dornan would have betrayed the Enclave. He died before being made a stooge. With that, it was decided Granite Company would form up with Dornan at the depot. Granite Company made the trek to Nevada, battling along Mirelurk-infested rivers, taking down super mutant warbands, trading shots with NCR Army forces near Redding, even a daring rescue of their own from the den after they were captured during the attack on the den. They salvaged as many weapons as possible, which we can get some stockpile weapons here, rescued a few would-be slaves as reinforcements. So this, I feel like this is a better option than this, because yeah, some of these are like plasma rifles, Gauss rifles, like we can get some bonuses to our infantry, but we'd eventually lose, 10, 15 rifles, but 350 manpower and 5% popularity of intellectuals can last us so much longer. Crisis in the depot. Granite's arrival in the depot was quite the unexpected turn of events. No one expected some backwoods mercenary company from Oregon to arrive. They arrived to find the depot full of Vault City refugees who had been used to living in comfort and most barely knew how to field strip a laser rifle. What was more, there was a firebrand old man who was trying to rile up the refugees with the same rhetoric his father had always warned about. Everything came to a head when Anderson was going on a fiery speech about killing the mutant, and Granite spoke out against him. In a surprising turn, Anderson's aggression, blunted by Granite's sheer stubbornness, it soon devolved into personal attacks from Anderson at how Granite was a mutie lover. Furthermore, than a few members of Granite Company weren't originally in the Enclave, having been recruited after. The final nail in the coffin was the allegations that Granite Sr. had aided in the destruction of the rig. That last one, no one dared dirty the legacy of Granite's father, not while Granite still breathed. Granite was about ready to gun Anderson down right there. So we gained some breakthrough, but we lose division defense. Let my laser do the talking. Granite was about ready to pummel Anderson to death. So we get division attack, but we lose some planning speed. Honestly, that division attack, I want to say, is better. Because I do believe in Hoi 4, division attack, I want to say your attack is better than your defense. Like, having decently high defense is good, but I want to say your attack is better even in a defense stance. because your dudes do counterattack in defensive stance too. So I want to say just going for that's better, because having like a hardcore buff to that plus 4% attack should be really nice, especially because we're playing on challenging mode and we do lose a decent amount of attack. So building up a bit of attack to even get to like base standard would help us a lot here. The Spirit of 13. Thankfully, he was talked down from such violence, not to mention the fact Anderson was surrounded by several soldiers in Enclave power armor as well. Granite cursed Anderson, saying it was that thought that burned down the Enclave in the first place, and something in him seemed different. Granite was almost possessed as he shouted, drawing all in the room to him. Even the uninterested Sergeant Major Dornan turned his head and raised an eyebrow. After calming down, Granite decided that if he couldn't physically beat Anderson with his fist, he'd beat Anderson at his own game. He had a few ideas that were always in the back of his mind. One even involved taking up the presidency of the NCR, but why bother with trying to go to the NCR when he could have so much more here in Nevada? Against the advice of those in Granite Company, Granite shed his power armor and took up his father's suit and red tie, suit and a red, white, and blue striped tie he found. It was a little tight, and he needed help with the tie, but the next night met Anderson on the stage. The vote came a few weeks later, and the rest, they say, was history. So Spirit of 13. Okay, dude, oh my god. And then this will take reform, so this will give us reform here. Bro, oh, so much reading. I feel like I've been reading a book this entire time. I'll probably wait and take political indoctrination. I know once we finish the reform national ideal, we could take reform propaganda, I do believe. Because that's something we're really going to need. Because you get options to where you can either, like, bring the purists onto your side, pretty much, or snuff them out. I really don't want to fight a civil war, also, so there's kind of that. So building up as much reform, like everything to our side is more that we really need to. We need to build up our faction's influence. What's our... Okay, so we have a stockpile of only 230 guns right now. That hurts. That really hurts. Okay, so we have some research that we can get, which we're just going to go resistor, try to get a bit more research speed here. Let's try to get some makeshift biplanes going, or at least research-wise. So that way down the line we'll be in a much better place. Okay, so we're still waiting for the hide activities from the NCR. Oh, this is another mod we have. We can actually build up our own settlements, too, if we have the money for it, which is really cool. So, like, later in the game, when we have more money, we can have more to spend on. A lament for reform. I'm not gonna lie. I'll just read it. The reformers of the Enclave have never had it easy. While in organized opposition to the old guard, purists on the rig simply couldn't exist. Those who would have considered themselves reformers often deserted the Enclave the first chance they got due to their better natures. Those who stayed did whatever they could to resist the terrible actions they were forced to commit, but most often had to keep their heads down due to the machinations of President Richardson. So this is like, on the rig with the purists. Because on that rig, man, there was some crazy experiments and stuff that happened. One of the cool things, you ever played Fallout New Vegas? I don't know if the mod's still there. It probably is, because I don't see New Vegas getting updated anytime soon to break the mod. There was actually a mod that expanded, that you can get that expanded on the Enclave, and you can actually go to the rig and stuff, which was pretty cool. And I think somebody made it for Fallout 4 also. I don't remember if it was for Fallout 4 also, but I remember it for New Vegas. How his hubris bit him hard, and it actually told a lot of the story about what went on the rig. In the end, with so many reformers banished to the mainland, they made up the majority of the survivors while the hardline leadership went down with the rig. However, both reformers and purists are now at odds for the future of the Enclave, the younger generation having grown up outside the insular culture of the rig have a more open view of the worlds around them. Nurtured, of course, by their parents, however, many still are beholden to the ideas of old and are unsure of their future given they were forced to flee their homes for no crime aside from being alive. As Douglas Granite addressed the assembly, he could feel the uncertainty within the room. Today is the beginning of a new era, and many of you entrusted that era to me. Among the hardships of my life, none could have filled me with greater anxiety than the challenge you have given me today. I was summoned by a country I attest I barely know. Those voices I never hear until now. My fellow Americans, I hear you. I am but your humble servant. I will put down my Gatlin laser and take up the oath of office you good people have all seen fit to bestow upon me. We shall enter this new world with fire in our eyes and pride in our hearts. God bless the Enclave. God bless America. So this is where we can get some crazy stuff right now. So we can either get 200 PP or 200 command power, which command power, as you saw, can be used for a lot of our perks and stuff here, which could help us a lot in building up our units and our generals. But that PP, like we have so many things that we could take. And then here's the legitimacy stuff. So legitimacy tutorial: for the first time in centuries, our authority has extended beyond core Enclave members. Considering our previous interactions with these newfound citizens could easily be misinterpreted as attempted genocide. Proving ourselves the legitimate government will take time and effort. Certain choices we make will increase or decrease our legitimacy. Higher legitimacy comes with bonuses to our rule and allows for new choices in our focus tree. So we'll have a lot of choices that'll either decrease or increase our legitimacy also, which can hurt us. Like there are some options where we can not do certain things, increase our legitimacy, but it'll hurt us in another way. Or we can take a debuff to our legitimacy, but come out a bit easier. Low legitimacy will come with penalties, at least until we find a way to keep the Wastelanders loyal regardless of their opinions. You'll notice that the negative effects of our low legitimacy are currently very weak. The effects of legitimacy become more severe as our population expands beyond core Enclave members. So the higher we get, the worse it's going to get. So I'll keep that in mind. We gain 5. The Enclave will tell them what to think. So we gain some PP. It's a base word support, but we lose legitimacy out the gate. I'm just going to take that 5 legitimacy here and just like take it on the head. And here you can see we have our tree. The rest of it has opened up finally, which we can't do anything with the opposition yet. So that's kind of there. If we go down this early, which it's nice because we can get some better units and some more units here. The only issue is it'll give more power to the purist or the elite faction. Which we can do this here, which this will actually help us reach out. And then this is one way that we can bring them into the fold. What I want to do as early as possible, if I can, I don't know if we can right now. Oh, here he goes. So the City of Crime. So I do want to annex New Reno as early as possible. So I might take that over this right now. Yeah, we're going to go with the City of Crime because we need to take New Reno as early as possible so that we can get the city going and actually be able to stock up on a good amount of money because that's how you'll make a lot of your money. So this guy should be our infantry guy, if I remember right.
Enclave here.
Yeah, he's our infantry guy. So yeah, so he has that, which kind of sucks. We can't take Idiot Savant to try to help get our stuff higher. I might take Gun Nut on him too because I do really like having like fire team supports and stuff that can help a lot. The max general size could help too. I don't think we're gonna be getting that much extra just basic infantry right now, so we might not take that. Let's go with, we'll take gun nut right now, just for that little bit of extra, because we will add on those other things. So if we go to production here, let's do pack caravans, which is going to suck, because we do need this for supplies, because we currently, our logistics is filled, but we're still missing 2 of these. I want to do makeshift squad automatic weapons at some point, so this way we can do actual weapon teams. Okay, so now that we have taken the reform stuff, we can do political indoctrination. That really does suck so much, though. But we'll take it. That way we can get more intellectual support, because that's what we need right now to continue with our reformer tree. And then we're going to take reformer propaganda. So now we should be gaining a lot compared to what we'll lose, possibly. I know some options we get will help lower what they're currently getting, too. Because they're still currently gaining power also, which does suck. If I remember right... Oh, no, we already took the reformer. That's correct, yeah. Since we have a lot of negative debuffs to our units, I feel like it's smart to take Army Offensive Genius this early. So that way we can have the least amount of problems with taking out New Reno and stuff. The faster we do it, the better off we are. Okay, so that's almost done. So we can actually reveal ourselves to the NCR, which will instantly get war declared on us. Traitors among our scientists, traitor among our officer corps. So yeah, this is where we start having some issues here. So in one of the meeting rooms in Sierra Army Depot, Dr. Anderson was giving a speech to the scientists of the depot. Many of the scientists were involved in FEV experiments. So the FEV experiments, if I remember right from Fallout lore, is what made the mutants, like the super mutants, I think, right? Because I think it got out and into the world and started making super mutants. Because I think they were trying to make like a super soldier, correct? If I'm correct, I think that's what the Enclave were trying to do. So including the infamous FEV Curling 13, it is no surprise that they lean overwhelmingly purist. And Anderson was preaching to the choir. My fellow scientist, Anderson said, we have suffered too much at the hands of the mutants. We have been unjustly persecuted for only performing our research. Yeah, unjustly persecuted for only performing our research. Our research was meant to save America, but the mutants think otherwise. They blew up the rig and sacked Navarro, nearly killing the American dream. Countless colleagues have died by their hands. Even worse, to this day, they hunt us down, our fabricated crimes. Crocodile tears fell from Anderson's eyes. I myself was a member of the Chemical Corps. That sounds horrendous to say. I was a part of the Chemical Corps. I lost many good friends when the rig was destroyed. I feel the pain all of you experienced, and I will never forgive the mutants. The fool who calls himself president would make peace with those mutants, make peace with the monsters responsible for our suffering. This is completely unacceptable. The president must be removed from office for all of our dead colleagues. For America! He was met with a thunderous applause. So yeah, so you see here they gained some daily elite support from that. Traitors in the officer corps. What do you mean we can't sack those traitors? Shouted Douglas Granite. Douglas Granite never experienced treacherous officers before, having always relied on his charisma to keep deserters in line. Unfortunately, the Enclave officer corps was dominated by purists who see Douglas Granite as an illegitimate president. Now his own subordinates were subverting orders and even scheming among themselves to replace their commander-in-chief. Colonel Stevenson sighed, believe me, I want those bastards out of officer corps too. But right now, the officer corps is dominated by purist sympathizers. If we launch a purge, it will almost certainly trigger a coup. Yes, if you fight, so you can technically try to purge them, and I think it does turn into a civil war, I do believe. Douglas Granite had no experience with the situation. What do you suggest instead? We play the long game, Colonel Stevenson replied, promoting pro-reformist officer positions, convincing the fence-sitters, and even a few training accidents. When the purists are weak enough, we strike. Do the training accidents. Oh, and one more thing, continued Colonel Stevenson. I suggest you securely lock your door to your quarters. We will have to deal with them later. So we take a lot of debuffs here. But for some reason, we get equipment capture ratio modifier plus 50%, which is nuts. Secret stolen. Oh, this didn't pop for me this early. Oh my god. Before I think it took a second before this actually popped up. Last night, a small group of traders made off in vertibirds with almost all of our documents of hidden DIA equipment caches littered around the country. Their communications suggest that they were opportunists who saw a better future in selling the equipment than whoever the Enclave or wherever the Enclave is headed. Regardless of their intentions, this betrayal is a severe blow. These caches were filled with invaluable equipment meant to help us reclaim the continent, and they are now forever lost to us. So we can blame the purists and we can justify crackdowns. God, if I remember right, can I see what the crackdowns do? So the crackdown. Oh yeah, so we lose people though too. Yeah, we lose. I don't think I want to do crackdowns, honestly. I feel like we could do this without crackdowns. This man's army. Maybe it was wishful thinking or naivety that many thought life in the depot was going to go back to normal after the election. That couldn't be farther from the truth. Instead, things were only seemingly to ramp up. Granite's ruthless charisma had stalled and inspired a fire in many, ready to tackle what the future would bring, and the first order of business was restoring the Enclave armed forces. Oh, man. I feel like I've been reading for like 40 minutes of this hour so far. Oh my god. The depot had begun transforming from a dilapidated ruin from the pre-war era to a rightful post-war fortress in its own right. Vertibirds were being reworked, automated, defenses were coming back online, and those who couldn't join the armed forces were making up the beginnings of a proper supporting corps. Said army, however, was anything but. While all identified as Enclave citizens now, those who had experience were all from different walks of life, from Granite's mercenary outfit to former Vault City security to Anderson's Bloomfield garrison. Even a small percentage of the oldest members of third-generation Enclave since the rig fell, barely older than 17, he had never even seen combat, let alone hold a laser rifle. As they all stood in loose formation, kept together by their seniors, a heavy set of power-armored footsteps approached. All looked to see Command Sergeant Major Dornan take to the pad and survey what could be explained as a formation. He had been given a simple task by the new president: train the next generation of American soldiers. The senior members began ushering everyone into tighter formations, but one, a kid with half his uniform unbuttoned, stood off to the side. He had no interest in any of this, and his mother sent him there to have him learn manners. Dornan walked over, his demeanor eerily calm. "I'd get in formation, son." The kid looked at him and smirked. "I don't have to take orders from you, sir. You're not my dad." You can hear a pin drop on the drill pad. You can have it with sound or without sound. I'd rather have it without sound. Fortunately, he was a very fast learner, and everyone did push-ups until Dornan got tired. I wonder if there's a chance that this doesn't happen, which would be hilarious. Learned his lesson, I bet. Oh, man, I'm going to pause real quick because I'm going to go grab a drink because, oh my god, is my throat getting parched. Okay, I'm back with a drink. Oh my god. Dude, all the reading is just like, oh. So we can hold a small speech. How much PP do we have? Yeah, I'll do that. Get me that little bit of extra, that was what I'm looking for. Intellectual percentage here. Give me more power. So we're at 49%. I think we need above 70 or 80% to take power as the reformers to like usher them into our side. I do believe. Don't like quote me on that. Been saying that a lot apparently lately. Okay, can we train up one of the auxiliary units? How much equipment do they require? Oh, nice. Okay. So we have the war goal against them now. So that's good. So we can start taking them down. Now what I want to start doing is the presidential victory speech. Okay, okay, they're moving that way. I actually want you to move this way and just start pushing around towards Nixon and then Lovelock. Power armor. I'm have you kind of just push around towards New Reno.
How do they expect me to run this unit if they keep shortchanging me on supplies?
Okay.
Who the hell is this?
See, the nice thing about fighting these guys early, even on challenging, is they're still not that hard to beat. But given, you know, they don't have any like armor or power armor units at the moment. So we're gonna go infiltration specialist. I'm thinking about just throwing this guy into the NCR area right now, just in case we have to fight them. We can possibly, because the cool thing about this is if you put a spy in an area, it actually lowers the entrenchment of units in that area. So like these guys on our border, like the more they get entrenched, the effectiveness of our network, I think, does it. So Colonel Lincoln Bushrod Washington speaks out in favor of Anderson. Oh my God. Okay. What is this? During a heated argument in the officers' mess hall today, Colonel Lincoln Bushrod Washington has loudly spoken out in favor of Franklin Anderson and his ideas about the Enclave's future. A few choice words were aimed at both the mutants of the NCR and President Douglas Granite. While the officer in question may be a capable leader in the field, we should note the opinions of commanders we appoint to lead. What they say in the mess hall and over the radio will always affect their loyal soldiers. So speak to them personally, or they're entitled to their opinion. So we gain war support, we lose intellectual. Douglas always had a way with words. This wouldn't be the first time he brought to his side with blue raspberry pie. So one of three options will happen. 30%. Colonel Lincoln Bushrod loses purist. So he loses purist. Gets event. Washington placated. 30% chance that he becomes a reformer, and there's a 30% chance in the pop. We lose 10%. I plan on bringing them all to my side anyway. But man, that 10% could hit us hard if it hits that. What are we at right now? We're at 50%. So we could technically lose 5 or have a chance to lose 10. I'm going to take the chance to possibly lose 10. Colonel Lincoln Bushrod, unconvinced. Oh my God, of course. Of course. Fistfight breaks out. The purists had it coming. There is no excuse for striking a fellow officer. Both share the blame. A heated argument turned violent in the General Staff cafeteria today. Unsurprisingly, the topic of the argument was the recent elections. Though many claim that he was provoked, none deny that the person supporting the reformer cause threw the first punch. This normally insignificant issue is gathering a lot of attention and we've been asked to intervene, an ungrateful position to be in, since defending the aggressor would reflect badly on us, but condemning him would come across as a stab in the back to the most zealous reformers. I'm gonna say both share the blame. We only lose 1% of intellectual here.
This is Enclave main comm.
But man, dude, taking that 10% hit is definitely rough. We're gonna take that. Ouch, dude. We're actually taking also some hits there. Oh, okay. I can spend 10 for military exercises and get another 5% intellectual. So we can kind of get back what we lost a little bit there. So the fall of New Reno. So we've taken New Reno as a city. Oh, it's route established. Okay. To Vault City. Oh, nice. We overran somebody there. Great. Okay, so we're going to reach out to the Centralists. Crap. Okay. So this is what I was looking for, is reach out to staff. So I know if I reach out to Centralists, I have to kind of placate them with some decisions down the line, which is kind of rough to do because there's certain decisions that I don't want to give up as reformist. if we do this, all we get is the crackdown. We can just crack down on them. We'll reach out to Centralists. Why not? We'll see.
Enclave here.
There's certain things that I might not do anyway. I can't remember the choices that I got before. Okay, so we have another factory that we could throw out. I'm going to put it in guns.
This is Enclave Maincom.
Okay, I need you guys to
You can say that again.
stop going right and to actually push left here.
Enclave here. The fucking president's watching us like a hawk.
And then I'm just going to have you guys, yeah, push out like this. Perfect.
Enclave here. I see.
Okay, take Carson City. There we go. Nice. God, so these are weird because it's like I can click it, but it won't hake until I click another one. There we go. Perfect. So we now have New Reno under our control. Okay. So let me see research-wise what we kind of have going here. Probably going to go... Brahmin Carts is kind of a little off. We're going to take seed selection for the extra manpower and stuff. That'll help us a lot. So currently, yeah, New Reno is disabled. So we have to wait for that to kind of get reactivated. And then we can start getting some money, some extra money from there. Which it looks like we have a route established from Vault City here. Okay, so we have the federal budget. So with the conquest of New Reno, the Enclave must now deal with something it has put off for 2 centuries, the federal budget. When the Enclave ruled a series of vaults, an oil rig, and redacted, I like the redacted, the Enclave relied on a command economy, but now that it rules a substantial population of Wastelanders, it needs to tax them and spend money for it. Seems that our Wastelander soldiers want a salary and our veterans want more than jauntly propaganda tunes. Nothing is more certain in life but death and taxes. So we replace motivated by vengeance with standard wages. Triad defects to Thrad detects to Troll Warren. Well, it seems like a Brotherhood problem. Ouch, dude, look at that. So the Rib Breakers get a lot of technology. Oh my god. But that's honestly, that's up to they can deal with that themselves. Colonel Lincoln Bushford Washington speaks out in favor of again. Oh my god, man, do I take the chance again? Oh my god. During a heated argument in the officers' mess hall today. Wait, this is the same thing that happened. Dude, how am I so unlucky that I get this twice this like soon? What's our current percentage right now? 46%. I'm gonna speak to him personally again. He converted. Oh, thank God. Okay, he becomes a reformer. Oh my God. Thank you. Patrolling New Reno. For the first time in the Enclave's history, we have reclaimed an American city. However, New Reno's population does not yet see it this way. While some are hopeful that the gangster are being pushed out, others fear and distrust the power-armored strangers patrolling their streets. Minor acts of resistance, such as thrown rocks or insults, are not uncommon as unsavory types test the limits of our troops' patience. If we appear weak, small arms fire may soon follow. Teach them not to mess with the Enclave, which I lose legitimacy is the issue here. Or establish strict rules of engagement. We lose that much war support. God, okay, yeah, establish strict rules. I really don't want to lose my legitimacy here. Remnants wish to return. Oh, I didn't get this before. We have been contacted by a leader of a sizable company of Enclave Oh, no, never mind. I think I did get this. They have survived the decades as raiders greatly feared due to their advanced tactics and technology. Having heard rumors of the return of the Enclave, they're asking to be reinstated into our armed forces. While the extra manpower could be very useful, their disdain for the mutants rival that to Anderson and his ilk. We must therefore consider the political consequences of accepting them into our ranks. Oh, man. So they gain... This is what I'm talking about, like these options here. Like, we gain troops, but the elites also gain power. But I think I kind of want the troops over them though. Oh yes, the prodigal sons. I probably shouldn't have taken these guys. 'Cause I think I have issues with these guys in the future if I if I remember right. But it's fine. It's fine. Okay, I'm gonna go for another rifle in there. Okay, how many? We have 6. Okay, so we have 6 factories now, which I'm actually going to stop those. Okay, we'll repair that infrastructure. Since we actually have building areas now. Oh god, we don't have that many though. We will get some more factories up, some more mills. Man.
Enclave here.
Okay, from here now I kind of need to build up our power base because we have taken some massive hits to our percentages here. Like we were at 50% almost, and then it's just like bam, we get smacked down again. Because like purists actually have more power than us right now too. And I really don't want to. I really didn't want to take the other thing though, so we can make a deal with them. Yeah, I'm gonna make some deals with them so we don't have issues down the line. Oh yeah, the wild promises. I really don't want to take that either because that's gonna hurt. Which is nice. We're actually making some money now. This just needs to come back up. Come up. Because we have the new Reno here. Which when that comes up, I think we can actually promote it straight away, which is nice too. Yeah, so it can be upgraded. Okay, so it looks like as we're doing this, we're actually gaining some more factories. Let's go squad automatic weapons. And we're actually trying to get 3 in that. Should I make special forces units that aren't power armor units? Because I could do some normal ones for them. I can't remember for those guys, do I need support equipment? I think I do, but I'm not 100% sure. So promotion. So recently a commander position has opened up. There are 2 available candidates eligible for promotion, an older experienced Navarro veteran and a younger outspoken reformer. So promote the experienced man, promote the loyal man. Honestly, we're promoting the loyal man. Chop Shop requests loans. Chop Shop has reached out to us in a time of need. Sales have been slow, business is lacking. They'd like to request some sort of loan to help keep their production lines available. It may be an enticing option to because we are ever in need of their wares. We can't spare much now. Aw, see, that kind of saddens me. Question about the NCR. So I think this is the compromises thing that we went with. Let me look at this real quick. Yeah. So yeah, we can replace treacherous officers with debug 2, funny enough. And this should hurt so they'll start losing 10 daily elite support, which is great. And then we'll actually gain support. So we'll go with that. It appears the purists have been spreading the rumors that we are looking into compromises with New California Republic. Some have even dared suggest we would surrender to our old and hated enemies. Purists, moderates, and even reformers have absolutely no intention of letting bygones be bygones. Thus, the question is posed during our conference, what to do with the NCR. Honestly, I have no intention of compromising with the NCR or living side by side with them. It's either I'm going to annex them or they can join me. There's no other question there. Same thing with the Legion, probably. I'm not 100% sure with the Legion, but the NCR, this is definitely the one we're going to do with the NCR. Questions about the mutants. While we have made much progress in introducing the idea of outsiders as something else than target practice, many are still unsure about our intention towards the mutants. Rumors have ranged from possible integration of Wastelanders into our ranks to ridiculous suggestions of forced intermarriage between pure and impure humans. It appears that there are many doubting purists and moderates who would be much more at ease after the promise of a peaceful but separate existence, provided the mutants know who is in charge. And so the question was posed, what about the mutants? So we can do no integration with the mutants, which is kind of rough because let me see. So yeah, this would be like the choices that we can kind of make here. Because I think it would hit, like, accepting ghouls. Because I think one of the questions is ghouls. Also, that comes up. So we could just do no mutants allowed, honestly. Because we could fill our ranks with robots, I believe. But I kind of like the idea of having mutants. But now the question is, are they seeing normal people as mutants? Or, like, as mutated people? Because, you know, they lived along the waste? Or are they seeing, like, super mutants? Are they talking about super mutants? Is also the question there. Huh. So we'd lose 2% on this. Ghouls, I'm going to keep out. Mutants, maybe. I don't know. Like I said, that's such a hard one to go off of. That would up our... Honestly, no. There will be no integration with the mutants. Question about the Brotherhood of Steel. While not as hated as the NCR, the Brotherhood of Steel played a major role in the destruction of Navarro and the loss of many of our comrades, brothers, and fathers. It was inevitable that a voice in the room would be raised to ask what we mean to do with the power-armored Boy Scouts occupying so many of our military bases using stolen government property. Of course, we would never ally with them. I don't like that idea. The Brotherhood could be pitted against the NCR. Dodge the question. So honestly, this is kind of a cop-out right here, which kind of makes me laugh about this. I like the idea of, like, you know, they could be pitted against the NCR, so we'll go with that. It gets us 1%, and it kind of helps us dodge the question, honestly. Ah, yeah, I still have to wait for that to come up. Okay, so I think we're good on that now. Who else can we take through this? So we can do, like, Reno Reborn. We could do reforms of Reno, the new capital and stuff. Okay, so that's down here where we can start fighting them. So General James Song becomes a commanding officer. The legend of General James Song. The guards outside the Sierra Army Depot were quite surprised today when a man in strange power armor arrived at the gate dragging a Alpha Deathclaw. Of course, they fired at him, but the rounds bounced off his armor and didn't even phase the man before he presented a set of credentials identifying him as an Enclave officer. Checking what a few records we have identified him as none other than General James Song, who was last seen commanding the defense of Navarro against the combined assault of both the NCR and the Brotherhood, whilst Sergeant Major Dornan may have led the retreat that led to the Enclave's survival. General Song led the diversion that saved the dreams of the Enclave. We thought for sure he had died, but no. He had been captured by the NCR, broke out of their prison, recovered his armor from the Brotherhood, heard of the rumors of us here in the depot, killed a alpha male Deathclaw along the way, dragged it all the way here to give our soldiers food to eat, and is now reporting for duty. This is what you call a certified badass, dude. Oh my god. Welcome back, General. That is a certified badass. So yeah, we need 50% stability also. I didn't realize that. So 50% stability and 70% reformer. Which stability, we're only at 31%. What about our normal power? We're actually at 60. Okay, so stability might be an issue for us come time. So what I could do, so we're going to hold another small speech here. We could improve worker conditions for a little bit. Honestly, yeah. We'll pay for that. We'll do that. Yeah, purists outnumber us. No, they don't. Oh, this house completed. Okay. Nothing is certain in life but death and taxes. Issue is we're having trouble with the tax part. Turns out a group of soldiers, mercenaries, scientists, and vault refugees don't exactly know how to collect taxes from the populace. As of right now, we're sustaining ourselves off of protection money provided from escorting caravans through the Sierra Wasteland and proceeds from Callahan's Cedar Caravan Company. However, this is only a temporary solution. The more we lock down the Sierra Wasteland and return it to Nevada, the less we'll be able to charge for caravan security, as why bother paying for it when the state is secure. Callahan has also voiced his displeasure at having to move funds from his caravan company to the budget. Though we're questioning the ethics of our intel chief running a caravan company on the side, we'll address that later. That's hilarious. The biggest issue is however, is our military grows. We're going to need to collect more money to pay soldiers. Sure, some of the Navarro veterans will work off of nostalgia and anger, but those we hire from New Reno and elsewhere, they'll need something more real. At the very least, with control of New Reno, we can collect taxes to fund our operations, but we have no way to actually doing that. The IRS was long destroyed, and what members it did have went down with the rig. Send the Secret Service. We lose stability. Oh my god, dude, I need stability. Stop taking my stability from me, game. I need this. Okay, if I reduce shifts in one of these, okay, this actually gives me stability here. Reduce administrative shifts. That actually doesn't hurt us at all. It just gives us, like, we just spend PP and we gain stability. That's actually not bad. I'll have to do that because I need to keep my stability up if I want to do that quickly. Gordon of Gecko selected in Vault City. So it looks like a ghoul in a Vault City? Oh, man. I'm not sure when I'm going to really end this episode, if I'm being honest. I think I'm going to do it when we actually take full control as reformers. Maybe. I think that will be when this ends. So, you know, you'll get a decently long video for you guys to watch here. I thought there would actually be more dead space, but it actually hasn't been that much dead space as I thought there'd be, if I'm being honest. There's just been a lot of reading. But that's kind of slowing down, which is also really nice. I would like a mechanized or like a vehicle group, but that'd probably be once we get up here. We're going to take the Brahmin cart research. Music vault found. Okay, so indoctrinate. Let me actually see. That's 2.B, 2.A. I don't know what either of those mean, but I think it's this, if I'm correct. No, that's officer training. It's not this. Oh, I didn't realize we have civilian economy now. Oh, I need to save up for that too. That actually sounds great. I'll just take 2B. I don't know what that actually goes to. Okay, music vault found. During their efforts to clean up some of these smaller criminal organizations in New Reno, Enclave soldiers have stumbled on a treasure trove of pre-war audio tapes. The vast majority of the tapes have survived or survives and hold long lost tunes of the old world collected by a wealthy crime lord over the course of decades. The propagandist value of such a collection should not be underestimated, as very little music is available to those within the Enclave. So promote old world nostalgia, which gets us 5% intellectual, 5% stability, 100 PP and 5% stability, or war support and stability. Give me the nostalgia, so intellectual and stability. The extra 100 PP would have been really nice, but that's something that we just need to not take for granted right now. Which we get a lot of PP from these too. Oh, my game crashed. I will be right back. Okay, my guys, gals, and mutated pals. We are back. Thank God for autosaves, by the way. I don't exactly remember where I was, but... okay. So indoctrinate the leadership didn't finish yet. Okay, so we're kind of waiting on that. So it's only 17 days. It's not too bad. We have some of these, too. I actually never took these in my, Legend of General James song. Okay, yeah, so we already read this. So that's where... Okay, so that's where we left off. Yeah, I never looked at these before, honestly. It only takes army experience, too, which isn't bad. So I might just go for damage. Ooh, daily army experience gain, though. It's only a tiny bit, but that could help a lot. No, that 10%, because we need to stack a lot of this. Because we are taking a massive attack debuff from playing on challenging mode. So that's nice. That little bit of army XP that we had, we were able to incorporate it into this. So this last one will probably go with Definitely the Enclave department of the army. Yeah. Because reconnaissance or gloss when moving is super great. Yep, so we have the death and taxes thing here. God, it kind of sucks that the options we had are gone right now, so we're having to kind of hold for a second. So when we redo this, so we're going to promote. Let me close this. We don't want you. Oh, nope. We don't want you. Go away. And then... what else was it that I took? I can't remember now. Oh yeah, improved worker conditions we gain for 180 days. We lose some factory output and some consumer factories, but that's fine. And the other one was administrative shifts we'll take. Because we need the added stability. Because we need a lot of stability. Once we get like the treacherous scientists and stuff done and all that stuff, we'll be sitting so much better. Okay, so that was disposable rocket launchers. Oh my god, I forgot about this. Oh wait, no, is this a different person? No, this is a different person. Oh my god, so we have the same thing happening, but it's with a different person now. Let's see, speak to them personally. Unconvinced. Oh, Jesus. Dude, that's just bad luck. The game crashed and did that to me on purpose. The game decided I was having too much of an easy time and decided to try to nerf me. That's what that was. Oh, I forgot about this. Yeah, we could take communal projects. This doesn't hurt us like at all. Ah, dude, that does suck. That sucks a lot. I was looking to take after that because we can't consolidate and right now we can't reach out to them. We could go Enclave Radio. We can't take the Sierra Army Depot yet, can we? No, we have to take one of those first because that gives us a decent amount of bonuses and stuff. Oh wait, we can get. That's right, we can get a lot of stability from this. Okay, yeah. So we're gonna go Enclave Radio. I honestly forgot that we can do a decent amount with that. Oh my god, it's a lot of wars breaking out all of a sudden over there. Oh yeah, so if you guys didn't notice, we have Cuba and stuff, which is cool. I did not realize this, but there could actually be a Cuban enclave, which I'm guessing is like, you know, the government. Nice, okay, we finished work as needed. God, a lot of this takes a lot of days, honestly. Finish makeshift planes. We'll take this. And then, like I said, I'm trying not to take these at the moment because we will get research on that, which will help a lot. We're gonna go train mongrels. So I think we can get support units for dogs, which would help a lot. Oh, the Sons of Kaga. The factions around us are actually pretty cool. So we have like a Japanese one. Okay, so the Enclave Radio, the voice of America. So add Enclave Radio, which grants a lot of PP and decryption. I did not realize it gave that many buffs. What? That is actually kind of crazy. I did not notice. I did not know that before. Oh, we need the American Dream for this one. Crap. So we could infiltrate the NCR. I saved this last time when I did my other test game. Mostly because, you know, we get a -35, which is phenomenal. But we're going to grab this. We're going to grab anti-communist propaganda. So normally we wouldn't be able to take this if it wasn't for the backstory we took before, if you remember. That we took for our president's backstory, which is really great. It makes me super happy that we did take that then, because that does help us a lot also when it comes to our support. Oh, here's the music vault. So we're going to take the base stability and the intellectual support, which puts us at... let that kind of go. So that's a lot of... there's like a massive communist war going on right now in Canada. Because like I said, there were a lot of communist factions in Canada. But yeah, I had to kind of pause that because I don't know if that's copyrighted or not, and I don't really want my video to get smacked down. But we finished the propaganda, I do believe. Yeah, anti-communist propaganda. So that's what this is. Cause of the Great War. As most Americans know, this world wasn't always a grim, dark land, inhabited by raiders and deathclaws. As we reunite the nation, many are still wondering who caused the Great War. The president could blame the Chinese to build up support, but most intelligent Americans recognize we made mistakes too. When asked, the president said, "We will never forgive the Chinese, which we lose legitimacy, but we gain war support and PP. We will never repeat the mistakes of the past, which we gain stability but lose war support, and we gain 3% legitimacy." We don't exactly need war support as a whole right now, but we do need the stability and the legitimacy, so we will take that. I don't know if this will boost the power of the elites, so I don't want to contact the remnants as of yet until we solidify our power. So that's something we need to watch out for with taking that. Oh yeah, we have Better Call Saul here. I forgot about this. Which we get the events, which I think that's from the Den, if I remember correctly, is where that's from. New Canaan has defeated the Fairfield Warband in a war. So something that's also cool. So if you look around the map, there's actually other Enclave remnants. So we have like MacArthur up here. I think if these remnants get taken out, they actually join us. Like they send us troops and then we get like their main commander. I do believe. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's the case. Raven Rock was at war. I guess they won. They just didn't take the territory. Oh, they had a white peace. Okay, that's what it was. I'm surprised they didn't take it. I don't know if Raven Rock actually expands or not, because they are like, the presidency of the Enclave. Complaints about the tax squad. So running a country is hard. Oh my god. We're getting complaints across our controlled territory about the tax squad. Honestly, we should have had a better plan than just send out the Secret Service to collect taxes from everyone. They are not suitable about it, or subtle about it. Yeah. It sucks. We lose 8% stability there too. Oh, New Reno's about to be re-enabled. Thankful, dude. It took so long for that to come back, dude. Oh my god. That felt like it honestly took forever. Oh god, what is this? Rats. Mole rats have infested the underbelly of New Reno. We aren't sure how they made their nest undetected, but at least 6 people have been partially eaten so far. Only a man named Jeremy has died so far. Despite being a banker, his death has caused outcry. People are leaving. Where are raiders when you need them? Oh, God, that sucks. We lose development income. Okay, promote the node for New Reno. We'll get that upgraded. Wait, I didn't know the Sierra Enclave could... Wait, that doesn't show that, though. That's for New Reno, right? Yeah. Something that's cool is this picture actually upgrades as their development goes up, too. Or is that just, like, a part of it until we move or something like that? I'm not sure how that really works. Okay, economic growth in New Reno. Excellent. These are what ministers are for, so we won't get the events for it. I want the events for it, at least at the moment, just because this is our first area. So our old allies. Oh, this is from Fallout 1 or Fallout 2? It's one of the two, because it's like a top-down. I think Fallout 2 is the top-down one. I can't remember if Fallout 1's top-down or not. Before the rig's destruction, we contracted with one of New Reno crime families. Oh, this was in New Reno, yeah. The Salvatoris, trading drugs for weapons. While it was a time-honored tradition, the family was kicked out of New Reno after their plot was uncovered. Even plasma rifles can't stop a mob of angry thugs and mob enforcers. Since their exile, the remnants have been living on the outskirts of New Reno, while the heads of the family themselves headed north to outrun Mr. Bishop. Now those remnants, cut off and leaderless, are desperate for protection. We could use them to bolster our numbers and divert the more significantly minded of them to work on lesser projects. Oh, scientifically minded. Freeing up our best for more important research. So bring them in. Oh, we gain a research slot and NCR suspicion goes down. Distribute them among the teams. Only 2%. Like, I feel like a whole research slot is way better than that. Okay. So we can consolidate power here, but we'd have to purge them, and that's, like, a big issue. I feel like if we reach out and incorporate them, it'll help us a lot more. So that's like the plan right now for that. Huh. Oh, that's right. We do have the revive the green berets down here too. Which, does that actually do anything for us? Okay, so it gives us organization to our power armor units, which can help with more org. They can fight longer and stuff too. But we're gonna take Reno Reborn right now until we can fully consolidate our power. We're actually almost up there in stability now. We don't fully have enough power, which does suck. I'm going to reduce administrative shifts. I don't know if that actually hurts us or not, honestly, in certain areas. Politically connected. Civilian construction speed plus 10% is also nice. Oh, this guy gives us daily elite support, which we do not want at all. The EPA director, the monthly population and stability is nice. We're still rocking political indoctrination. Ah, wait, I'm kind of dumb. I could take, wait, when can I take... Is it this one? I think it is. Yes. Has Americans 1 and all active. So that should be soon that we could take that, I do believe. So we'll hold off on that also. Oh, I totally forgot about this. Yeah, first lieutenants. This is for Granite Company. We can get a lot of power armor attack and stuff with that. I'm going to try to build them up slightly. Okay, let's save some of our other ones. So the NCR victorious in Navarro. So that was them fighting down here. Okay, what research should we take? We could take some early power armor research to kind of upgrade our power armor a little bit in the future. So we could take that, which isn't bad. Okay, New Reno could be upgraded again. Nice, so let's promote New Reno again. So that's great. We're up to 57,000 bottle caps. Oh my god, yep, Shepard speaks out. The New Reno initiative, so we can make Reno great again or build Reno back better. Due to a mix of strategic unimportance, the defense of Las Vegas and its sheltered location within the Sierra Mountains, the city of New Reno survived the war mostly intact. However, that didn't mean it survived the intervening years unscathed. With the collapse of government and authority, the city's already prolific gang violence tore the city apart. It wasn't until the end of the 22nd century that the city stabilized behind several crime families. By mid-23rd century, it had stabilized behind 4 families. Now, in the late 23rd century, the Enclave had arrived, and with it, the Douglas Granite. While the Enclave soldiers replaced gang enforcers, the city remained in a dilapidated state, made worse by the recent fighting between the gang enforcers and Enclave soldiers. In a radio address to the city, the president proposed the New Reno Initiative, a grand project to turn the city from a rundown dive of vice and crime to a jewel of the wasteland befitting the capital of the Enclave in whatever form it would take. The NCR might boast of Shady Sands and house brag about New Vegas, a bright light in the blight landscape, but when caravans of travelers visited Nevada, it would be New Reno that would be the greatest city in the wasteland. So we can gain some stability, but honestly, that 100K caps is where it's at. Because if we can get 200K, we can invest in New Reno itself to help with development. So I'm going to try to talk to him personally. Please, 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 please work. Let's go. Okay. Oh, that's so great. Honestly, that was scaring me. Oh, dude. Okay, so we just need 70% support. We have the stability. We have the power. So our daily change right now is 0.07. The elites are taking a hit. As long as we can get above 70 and stay above 70, we can finish the other, the other national focus, and then we'll be really good to go. Honestly, this is when having crackdowns would help a lot. Ooh, that minus 30% training time there is crazy. We do have all of these too, but a lot of these are more expensive PP-wise to take. I don't think any of these other guys add intellectual to us. There's a lot I need to take PP wise in the future. I think the reformer guy is the only one that we could take apart from these guys to give us power. Yeah. Now, what about economic affairs? We might have a reformer in here. They have an elite support guy, but no reformer. Ah, that sucks. We don't have a reformer there. Okay. Because currently we're doing everything within our power right now to try to pull this. So let's see. We have early mob. Something I noticed from these is you can kind of see the bonuses we get from these. But honestly, partial mobilization is pretty good because of military factory and then the development. We lose fuel, though. We get 25%. So we get 10% of our consumer goods factories back. We'll take that. That should get us a lot of, I say a lot of factories. We're actually only at 8. Economic growth in New Reno. Perfect. So that was upgraded. I think New Reno, yeah, it's maxed out now. So that's where it's at. So it's currently making us a development value. Oh, we do take a hit right now because of that modifier. So we are taking a massive hit to our New Reno stuff. I need a little bit more intellectual power right now, which really sucks. Wait, we currently have 0 suspicion from the NCR. We'll take Old World Radio. I didn't realize that. What? Wait, this says 25 though. I'm so confused by that, honestly. Or is that what it currently costs us? No, I think that's their suspicion though. But that one thing says 0 on it for suspicion. Let's take this simple tracks to go towards simple tanks a little bit. So we don't really have the power to build those tanks right now, but we can have the power for it at some point, maybe. So we have no divisions in training. How much do we have gun? Okay, so we have about 1,000 rifles. We have about 2,000 pop. I'd say right now we are good to start producing some Enclave auxiliaries. So something I want to do also is I want to fill this out. I don't like how that looked. Okay, let's get some of these Enclave auxiliaries to kind of fill our units out here. And still going to produce them out of the Sierra Madre place, depot. So we have about 1,000 manpower now. From that. Oh, construction of our own road. So we can actually spend some caps on these too. Which adds technology road construction. Oh, that's cool. So we can get technology out of that. If I didn't need all this money right now for the early development, it would help so much. Oh, I did not realize this. Demote purist scientists, which we lose a little bit of stuff, but they lose elite support and overall popularity. Minus 20% research speed, though. Oh my god. Speech. So if we save it to 50, that'll get us 3%, which we're currently at, what, 64? Okay, Old World Radio finished. So we have New World Hopes. Gets us 100 PP, which is kind of what I'm wanting. And then Daily Political Power, or Old World Blues. Daily Political Power, 100 pop. Expected number of factories put on consumer goods, minus 3%. That's also really good. Honestly, our encryption and decryption could take a backseat. This is great. Yeah, we're going to take Old World Blues. That'll actually kind of help us here because that'll get us, that should get us enough if the question is, do I demote scientists or not? That is the question here. Because we do lose 20% research for 200 days. But that'll get us perfectly enough. But we could hold a small speech. Oh, military exercise. Okay. Military exercises. I just realized I think we're killing off some of those guys. Kimball removed from office. Oh. So the presidency is changing in the NCR. Murphy took power. Ooh, so an historic rejection of the trend of rising militarism and corruption within the NCR, President Kimball has been removed from office following a vote of no confidence by the NCR Senate. Starting as an investigation into the Navarro crisis, Kimball's support base was rapidly whittled away by a series of dramatic Senate hearings which exposed the corruption, unchecked imperialism, and widespread nepotism that had occurred under his term. As the leader of the opposition, Bonnyard Senator Algood Murphy has been selected by the Senate to serve as president for the remainder of the term. Time will only tell if the newly inaugurated President Murphy will be able to deliver on an ambitious anti-corruption platform before the onset of 2278 federal elections. I think this is the route I could take where I can influence their government to go about where is it? Putting in power our person, right? But wait, I don't see that here anymore. I'm so confused. There's the man from Cedar. Was it a mod? Did it get deactivated or something? Because I swear there was an option for that. Where we can, like, mess with their elections. Oh, we can actually take this now. Oh, that's perfect. Okay. We're currently taking Old World Blues. I'm going to stop this real quick because I really want to reach out to staff. I really want to get that done. Because we are at 70%. Are we currently losing popularity or no? 56%. Okay, we're not. Okay, so we should be good. As long as that stays above 50%, we'll be A-okay. So that's perfect. So I don't need to do any more of these, which is great. Arrange disappearances. So we're going to spend... Okay, so that is how much it costs us. So we're going to hide activities from the NCR again. So that costs us 25. Wait, where's the thing where I can invest in New Reno? Because I thought there was usually one where you could spend 200 caps to invest in New Reno also. Is it because it's already at level 7? Because I did it in my test playthrough. I'm so confused right now. Or is that... No, it must be national focus. I haven't gone down New Reno's focuses as much as I did before this early. I'm trying to consolidate as much power as early as possible this go around than what I did in my other one. In my test playthrough. Okay, so reach out to staff. So somebody hand me my speech. So stability, political power, and intellectual, my fellow Americans. 15%. So we lose some war support, but we gain a lot. 200 PP. Yep, we're taking my fellow Americans. That is crazy. So we can reform officers, reform scientists. So we're going to start with the reform of... Which one do I gain more from? Okay, so reforming officers, they lose minus 0.20 daily elite support. We're going to start with the officers first. That sounds so much better to do. Okay, so we have the PP to kind of do what we want now. Like I said, I still want to hold off on that a little bit. We still have political indoctrination going. I'd say I'm doing this pretty well so far. War economy. So we gain 5% factories back. We can build military factories much more, but we'd lose trade income and development income is the thing. EPA director. I might take EPA director, honestly, too. That extra bit of stability would help. Oh, wait, no, I'm going to save up for a respected sergeant. A debate gone wrong. Oh, my God. And what had become a... Oh, no, does that mean we're going to drop below 70%? No, I think we're at 86, right? Yes, okay, so we shouldn't drop below 70%, so we should still be perfectly good to continue this. Oh, man, I thought that was about to cripple what I was going to do. And what had become a weekly occurrence, Douglas Granite and Anderson were at it again. Douglas Granite, however, a soldier and not a politician, proved unable to handle Anderson, and therefore freedom of speech is an essential right to all Americans, as stated in the First Amendment, Douglas Granite stated. Anderson stood on the opposite end of the stage with an expressionless look on his face. Even though the election was over, the reformer purist power struggle continued. Douglas Granite and Anderson continued to verbally clash in debates to sway the fence sitters. The topic for today's debate was if the constitutional protections applies to mutants. Subtly, Anderson's eyes lit up, sensing an opportunity. President Anderson said, with a sarcastic tone, if freedom of speech applies to everyone, why does the Sierra Daily only publish pro-mutant news? Why don't we hear the testimonies from Navarro veterans on the radio? Is it because since your reformers control the executive, you suppress views contrary to your own? Douglas Granite tried to speak, but Anderson cut him off. Hypocrite. I best say hypocrisy. You go on about our freedom of speech is an essential right of all Americans, yet you suppress your fellow Americans with differing opinions. Have you no shame, President Anderson's voice boomed through the room, earning a thunderous applause. Needless to say, this debate did not go well for Douglas Granite. We'll have to get him next time. To bury the news of this incident, we'll lose 50 PP. Yeah, I'll do that. We'll take the hit a little bit. I want to keep my intellectual stuff as high as possible. Army air attack. I don't think we have any I don't think we have any like anti-air base stuff right now. So it's not something we really have to worry about as a bonus. Static AA though, we could take that too because we do have. Actually, I don't know the Ooh, here we go. We're gonna take this agriculture. There is actually an event that pops if the NCR goes the route of reclaiming like bombers. So if you remember the mission in New Vegas where you go to the bottom of the lake and you bring the bombers back up and stuff, and then the NCR will like get a bomber and stuff like that. That's actually what can happen in this, and I guess it gives the NCR an air force or like a chance to really build their air force. How does this look? We're at 81. There's a chance we could still get hit with some more issues. So I'm trying to think. Do I hold the speech or do I not? Okay, if we get hit with another one, because I can always pause and just kind of let it go, and then we can pop that. How much money do we have? 157,000 bottle caps. Okay. I'm going to save my PP right now for a little bit, just in case we have options that pop for PP. God, we actually do have a decent amount of command power. What do I want to take then? This is for our field marshal. So, that's on core territory, though, which can be an issue, technically. So, rooted, strong back, flexible. Honestly, pain train would be helpful for him, too. Actually, no. Let's do this. Let's give him ferocious loyalty, because that'll build him up a bit more to where he can hold more generals under him. Outside of that, what else do we want to go? Ooh. Division attack or equipment capture ratio. Let's go division attack, because he is the field marshal, so he'll give that to everyone under him. Because like I said, we do need to stack as much bonuses as we can for that. I could give him leadership gain too. Or, wait, I think I could take this and that then, right? Yeah. So let's give him some experience gain this early on so we can level him faster to get more more traits. I feel like that's actually really good. This is our power armor unit. I'm trying to think of what I should do for you too then. I might go, so you're kind of walking tanks. Let's go local leader so I could fit more power armor units under you. And then you, my guy. I'm also going to give you local leader. Because the more troops that they hold, the more experience that they can get from more fights and stuff. I feel like that would help a lot. So we can hold a decent amount of troops under both these guys. Because both these guys are really good in terms of their stats and stuff that they have. So being able to, use them more helps a lot. So reform the officers. Loyalty within the officers. It was clear that mere charisma would not be enough to get the officers back on our side. Douglas Granite has called for the command structure of the Enclave to be rebuilt. No doubt in such a way as to benefit the reformers, the officers have been called for what they are being told is a greater purpose by the veterans. Integrity and accountability are being drilled into our officers. Among the purists of the Enclave, they see their positions as perilous. Most of them doubt the promises of no purges, but as time passes, we can only hope that they see the error of their ways. Only 2 purists have publicly spoken out in favor of Douglas Granite's principles, Rebecca Whitehall and Colonel Wilkins. Whitehall has pledged the support for our president until his betrayal of those policies. Colonel Wilkins believes that without the support of the president, he will be unable to freely enforce his ruthless aggression against Wastelanders. Hopefully, more officers will follow after these 2, and it is likely that more will follow after these public announcements. There is of little concern over the reformers seeing these genocidal purists offer support for our president, but for now, it should be manageable. For now, we could feel a bit more at ease because most officers are not actively working against us like they were previously. So keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. So we gain PP, we gain Rebecca Whitehall as a unit leader, and we gain some more support. Hopefully, they will come around. So we still get Rebecca Whitehall either way as a unit leader. Command power or PP? Honestly, PP. I feel like PP will help more. And then let's go plant cultivation there.
Everything's always tighter out here.
So we have Whitehall Company, which kind of nice to have a maintenance support company and a fire team, but their overall unit is pretty small. Like I said, I want to keep these instead of like changing their division template. Now I could just copy the name, change the template, and then give the name back to the company. But I kind of like the idea of keeping them kind of the way they are. It's just going to cost us more army XP is the issue. Let's reform the scientists now. So what's our thing looking at? So we have 81% now on reformers. Man, this is taking a toll, dude. Jesus. How is our troop training coming along? Not as well as I'd hoped. Broken Coast joins the Northern League. Let's take a look at the world real quick and see what's kind of going on. So these guys are still kind of fighting over here. These guys have been fighting for a minute. It looks like the 121st or 215th is about to lose. Caesar has still been fighting his little wars out here. I can't tell how it's really going. He should win. There shouldn't be any issue with that. They're fighting a little war out here. Dude, there's a lot of fighting going on. I love how Florida has like just been stagnant this entire time. Oh, the Gulf Expedition. That should be, yeah, Brotherhood of Steel area. And then we have up here, which only like up into Canada is fighting. Everything seems pretty stable around the rest of the world. And then there's us. We're out where we are. Ooh, that was a hiccup and a half. Jesus. I don't want to spend army XP on anything right now, so we'll just do that. I'm going to get both a logistics company and a maintenance company together. How is our production looking? Okay, we did spend a lot of rifles already. We lost a factory along the way due to something. Looks like we are taking some damage from stuff, but overall we should be okay. Should be fine. We should be fine. That's going good. Like I said, I'm trying to hold on to as much PP as possible. Because right now, they should be losing a lot of their powers still. Because we already got the officers. Oh, that's cool. Contact from Radio Station Zeta. Get this. We just received word from another Enclave group by the name of Radio Station Zeta using old channels. We were able to get their location and an updated communication network to work with. This should help keep comms encrypted. God hasn't tossed away the Enclave just yet. That's cool. Okay, we're almost done with this. Come on. There we go. Reform the scientists. Loyalty within the scientists. Even with the scientists having thrown their support behind Anderson, Douglas Granite has offered something that many within the research division needed. Structured reforms organization has been lacking since the Enclave went into hiding, to which there have been no solution. Douglas Granite continues to hold to his election promise that there will be no purges, and many of the scientists assumed that they would be first to go in the event of treachery. Although the scientists are not willing to completely back the reformers, prominent scientist Benjamin Curling has placed his support behind the newly inaugurated president, leading to some following him. So freedom of thought must be preserved, so add concessions for the scientists. That's not bad. And then just excellent concessions for the scientists. Let's see, what else? Okay, so we gained some intellectual support here. You know what? Freedom of thought must be preserved. I'm about it. Let's do it. And then deal with Anderson. What are we... Okay, so it needs to be less than 10% support for the purist faction before we can deal with Anderson. What is it? What are they at? They're at 14% right now. About pretty much 15% right there. Over the next few days, they should lose more support. I'm wondering, though, I should be able to pull from them when I do this, right? Oh, yeah, okay, that hurts them. Okay, so gaining a little bit of there here and there. So that should take even more from them. Perfect. Okay, so we can take that now. So now we could deal with Anderson and just get this all wiped under the rug. So it replaces political infighting with political peace. So we gain 0.20 PP, political power gain plus 10%, division organization plus 35%, division recovery plus 35%, stability plus 30%, and then change in popularity of elites minus 10%. Jesus, dude, that's going to be so nice. That's pretty much what that's what I want to do before I do any of the other stuff, because like a lot of this, this will give us a lot of bonuses and will help us a lot, but it will also hurt us in terms of the elites gaining power. So we need like a strong foothold before we can allow that, is the thing. So we could have taken this too, because well, that's only minus 1%. That's not really as much as what the other things would have helped with there. We'll take Brahmin carts now. But once we finish that, we'll be able to do a lot. Man, has this come a long way. Pretty much during my test playthrough was like right after this, like right after I did the reform, kind of gained power, and then I actually annexed these guys through this whole thing that they've done, where they did the whole vote of non-confidence, and then the other Hayes took control. Yeah, this person, Hayes. So wait, is it because she didn't go where she needed to yet? Is that why Hayes doesn't have the support and I don't have the way to do it? Is that what's up? Or is it because I haven't... Oh, it might be because I haven't infiltrated yet. That might... Oh, here it is. Never mind, it's here. I'm just dumb. I think I missed it earlier. So, okay, we do need to infiltrate. So that is what we need to do to support the Old World Party. Because we can just fully annex them if it works in our favor. So that is something I need to do like right after this. Which, what is our suspicion right now? Not high at all. We've actually stayed under the radar really well. The issue is a lot of the stuff we can't do through like, see, we can't declare war through certain things. But once we actually come out and the NCR isn't like against us, we'll be fine. Okay, here we go. So Franklin Anderson outnumbered and out-allied. Anderson has rallied the few soldiers and scientists still loyal to him and has made a large speech rallying the hardliners to go against Douglas and the reformer ideology, and that the Enclave still stands and that no one would take this nation away from him. So I could speak to him personally, use your power to stop him, let him speak, which I was like, are you sure you want to do this? ? Or use everything to convince him he's wrong. So I can convert him for 250 PP. I forgot that it costs that much. Which is honestly better to do that. Let me spend my current PP right now on something that I may need. Which is really nothing out here that I may need right now, honestly. Other than possibly, I guess, grabbing one of these guys. Let's go with the special ops attack and stuff. Okay, now let's do it. Use everything to convince him he's wrong. Anderson converted. Although the good doctor has been a formidable opponent since his defeat in the election, Anderson's talent and influence cannot be overlooked. After some convincing by the president, despite his initial reluctance, Anderson has finally decided to join us in the fight against our common enemy. America is back. Franklin Anderson becomes convinced. Anderson becomes an advisor. Actually, what advisor does he become? I didn't think about that. Is it a Council of Economics? So we're looking for Anderson here. Anderson. Not seeing him. Is he on the council? No. I feel like I'm looking in the wrong spots, probably. Maybe not, unless he's up here somewhere. Which I don't understand why he would be up here. He's not like a military guy. He's one of the other guys, Fox, Kilgore. Okay, I don't know where he is then, if that's the case. I'm not seeing him anywhere. Huh. Okay, I want to influence the support here. So we will infiltrate the NCR, even though that's not going to do like much for us at all. Like, I feel like it's kind of a waste because we haven't built up much of the stuff. Okay, we're actually going to go with local workspaces here. Okay, so once we get that, we could try to influence the NCR here to fully annex them. The only issue, though, if we do annex them, we will have to fight Caesar's Legion pretty soon after, I do believe. Because Caesar's Legion and the NCR is the only thing holding each other at bay. So I think if Caesar's Legion falls, we will have to fight them. And I don't know how well we could take on Caesar's Legion, honestly. That sounds really rough to do. But I'd like to annex them and get rid of this whole game of hiding from the NCR. So I'm not going to lie, it's kind of annoying. So we call in favors. Oh, okay, so yeah. Oh, so this is like, I think when we have the guy in there. One of the cool things is we can actually influence it a little bit. Ooh, this is something I need to do. Bears can't fly, but we need the American Dream, though, first. We need the American Dream before we could support her, too. Okay, where is the American Dream at? Is that something up here? Rebuilding the government, White House. No, so it's not up there. Ooh, this is where we get all the technology. But that's not what I'm seeing, though. Where is the American Dream at? Oh, the American Dream. Okay, here it is. So, the mutant question. So we have to do the mutant question. So then where is... Okay, here's the mutant question. So we need the new capital. Okay, so it looks like I think we need to go down New Reno stuff then, right? Yeah, the new capital. Ah, crap. Okay. So we'll have to go down this a little bit. I kind of want to get these other technologies first, because I feel like these will kind of help us too, especially that research speed. Oh, I didn't realize we get intellectual support from that. But at the same time, we could continue this and do these. Okay, we'll click this. I am currently going to end today's episode right here. We have we've consolidated power. Anderson's on our side. Pretty much we are in full control of the government right now. That is what I was wanting. We have become the reformers. Now I'm wondering how we could change the name from Sierra Enclave to the United States. I don't know if we have to own a certain amount of territory to be able to do that or not. But yeah. But this is where we're going to end the first episode, with us pretty much consolidating power within the Enclave. So next episode, we should be getting into like taking out some of the people around us, moving our capital, and possibly annexing the NCR. It's just fighting the Legion. I don't know if I want to annex the NCR, because like I said, fighting the Legion sounds horrendous. If anything, we could wait for them to go to war and do it. But I don't know. We'll have to see. I do hope you guys did enjoy this. If you are new here, consider liking, subscribing, and or commenting on the video. It really helps us with the YouTube algorithm and just helps us grow as a whole. Night Ops out.